Okay, we're going to rig CrossFire today. It's a crossover freestyle sail. Right on the end of the bag it tells you what size it is, what mast you need, how much extension, and how long the boom is. So you can get set up right from the beginning. We've also got all the specs are printed right on the bottom of the sail. So it's in two places, so you always know what you need. So we're going to use the 430 hot rod mast. The label's always on the bottom section, so when you put the mast together, make sure it goes together like this. And you do not want to put it together like this, that's the wrong way around. So put it together, that's a nice snug fit, and that prevents any sand or anything getting there and jamming the joint up. Next we're just going to insert it into the bottom. We've got a handle on the mast pad that helps feed the mast back. You can open up the mast pads for rigging, just makes it easier to do stuff. Need 10 centimeters of extension. Oops. I always like to use a rigging tool. It makes it much easier to downhaul the sail. And it also gives you the ability to very accurately downhaul the sail, because you can make very small adjustments very easily. When you're trying to strain and pull on something, it can be quite hard to make small adjustments. Okay, so we just set it to the recommended downhaul setting, and we can fine tune it later on. Put the boom on. We've got a mast shim, which gives a little extra protection to the mast. Some booms you don't need a shim for skinny, and some you do. I like to have the gap at the front. It makes it easier to put the boom on without it getting caught on the gap. And we do have the height numbers on the side of the sail, so you always know where you need to put your boom. I like it about here, so I need to just move that down a little bit. So we're going to give it about 7-8 centimeters of outhaul. Okay, now we're going to fine tune the sail. First thing you notice is that it's a brand new sail, and none of the battens are tensioned on the new sail. So that's very important that you tension the battens. If you forget to tension them, the screws will work out and you'll lose the screws. Okay, so we've got a brand new sail here, and the sails come without the battens having any tension on them at all. So the first thing you got to do is put some tension on the battens. The batten key comes right on the end of the sail bag, so you've always got one handy. Okay, it's just an Allen key. You just put it in the key and turn normal clockwise, makes it tighter, and you turn it until it's nice and firm, and you can see all the wrinkles disappear. There should be no vertical wrinkles in that batten. So you just turn it just so it starts to get nice and firm and the sail looks nice and clean. You don't want to like super crank it because you can overdo it. That one looks good. I'm just going to keep working up the sail and get them all done. Now after you've been sailing a couple of times, you want to go back and re-tension the battens, check that they're all nice and tight. After you've done it a couple of times, typically they'll stay tight and you don't need to worry about them too much, and just once in a while check them. Okay, now we've got all our battens tensioned. Now we can go to tuning the sail for the actual sailing conditions. Okay, right now we've got the right amount of downhaul on for very light winds, for being underpowered. We're going to get as much power as possible. You see that very quickly the leech tightens up. So we've got a relatively tight but yet still springy leech, and that helps you get good acceleration and early planing. And we're going to check how full the sail is too. So we're going to set it up as if we're going out underpowered. You can get a good idea of how full the sail is by just pushing in the sail here, and this is the sail shape it's going to make when the wind fills it in. So if we're going to go for light winds, we could go a little bit, just slightly deeper, so I'm going to let off a little bit of outhaul. And when I say a little bit, we're talking about like a little bit, just like 5 millimeters or so. So now I've got a little more shape in the sail, get a little more power, but whatever we do, this batten right here should never touch the mast. See, right now it's free to move up and down without touching the mast. If you rig it too full and that batten's hitting the mast, you're not going to get a nice smooth rotation, and the sail is going to be too powerful. It won't be as efficient. So even though it feels like you've got a lot of power, you won't actually be planing any quicker, because the sail won't be as efficient and you'll actually be going slower and not planing as quickly. Okay, now we've got maximum downhaul, and you can see that the whole profile of the sail is a bit flatter. So when we added more downhaul, we've got to add a little bit more outhaul as well. Okay, so we're going to maybe a centimeter more outhaul on. And that helps tighten up the lower leech a little bit too. So now when we look, I'm going to judge the depth of the sail again. It's much flatter foil. This is going to give us more control. It's going to make the sail a little bit faster too. So now with more downhaul on, you can see that the sail wants to twist a lot more before the leech gets tight. Okay, so let's see how we're doing. We're going to set for high winds. And if I pump the sail, you'll see how you're getting a lot of twist at the top of the sail.